Sega has never recaptured the success of the Genie Drive, selling almost 50 million units worldwide, with the Dreamcast unfortunately coming up the shortest in matching that number. Now, why is that? Well, let's find out. The runaway success of the Blue Blur, along with some great arcade ports and sports titles, were squandered when, instead of letting the Genesis simply phase out and hype the upcoming Saturn, in late 1992 they decided to prop up the Genesis with its first add-on, rather than focusing on additional chips and new graphical techniques like Nintendo was exploring. Thus, the Sega CD was born, and everyone was asked the eternal question,
Hey! You still don't have a Sega CD?
No. No, I don't think I will.
The former head of Sega Europe, Mike Brogan, in an interview with Eurogamer, puts it simply: add-on devices don't increase market share. By their very nature, they sell into the existing customer base only. Sega's thought here was that the Genesis would continue to be their mainstream console for years to come, and wanted to sell additional add-ons for it, while the Sega Saturn would be their big elite sort of option that they would market to the hardcore. That was the initial thought, at least. Because that mainstream existing customer base wasn't all that into the Sega CD, funnily enough. It was a cheap, slow, consumer-grade CD drive that mostly resulted in grainy, gameplay-less FMV titles, while more traditional ones like, say, Mortal Kombat CD were barely improved upon over the Genesis versions. One of the few highlights was of course Sonic CD, but the price of the add-on, $299 at launch, limited the amount of people who could even play it. And finally, despite all those cost-saving measures, Sega still sold the CD unit at a loss, something the company did fairly regularly. But whatever, Sega can take a few hits. The Genesis and Sonic will carry them through. Now, since the Saturn was taking a while to come out in the US, which just so happened to be Sega's biggest market, they felt they needed another product in the meantime, since Genesis sales started to slow. This, of course, resulted in the legendary 32X, which was originally pitched to be its own standalone console, the Neptune, before Sega decided to make a very last-minute pivot. Since its only reason to exist was to kill time until the Saturn launch, it was decided that building another standalone console would just be too expensive for a stopgap system. Therefore, add-on! But why even really do this to begin with? Former Sega of America employee Scott Bayless was right on the front lines. The 32X was born in a call from Sega of Japan president Hayao Nakayama to Sega of America's R&D head Joe Miller. He was on a speakerphone, and there were several of us in Joe's suite at CES in Vegas. Mr. Nakayama basically said that we had to do something about Atari's forthcoming 64-bit Jaguar console. He was worried about it. Okay, let's take a minute here, breathe in, and read that last line again. We have to do something about the Atari Jaguar. So, when you are born of an idea as stupid as that, it's no surprise the 32X was an even bigger failure than the Sega CD, lasting only 6 months on the market, and aside from some competent ports like Virtua Fighter and Doom, it had very little to offer. Bayless again cuts to the core of Sega's problems around this time. Where it started to go sideways was in implementation. By the time it got to market, the 32X had been pared down significantly for cost reasons, but that reduction severely impaired its functionality, leaving it in a weird, uncompetitive space versus other devices that were looming on the horizon. I think the decision to respond to the Jaguar was symptomatic of that pervasive lack of direction that lay below the surface at Sega. Without a clear vision, we were just reacting. But, Sega can take a few hits. The Saturn is coming out and Sonic will see them through, right? Unfortunately, due to all this, Sega lost a lot of goodwill from fans around this time, and because of all the impending competition, the Saturn was already put in a difficult position. Sega also miscalculated when designing the Saturn and thought sprite scaling was the future rather than full 3D, and thus built the Saturn around that philosophy. However, the competition had bet big on 3D for their respective machines, and when compared side by side with the Saturn, Sega's new console looked a little unimpressive. There was more than that though. The botched and hurried North American launch, the loss of several big third-party games, the lack of a mainline Sonic title, competition from Nintendo, and for a bevy of other reasons, their Saturn failed to achieve the same success as the Mega Genesis, not even shifting 10 million consoles worldwide, with a lifespan of roughly 4 years. Sega couldn't take any more hits like that. They needed to knock it out of the park with their next console, so they decided to make one more big play to place all their hopes and financial future on a dream. In 1997, Sega of Japan tasked 2 teams to make the Dreamcast architecture, then titled Project Katana, a so much cooler name, with both teams, who weren't even aware of each other, being on opposite ends of the world. One team focused on American technology and entered a contract with 3DFX to use their chipset as the base, while the Japanese team favored a Hitachi CPU architecture instead. Now, here's where things get interesting. Hey, here's that what happened you ordered! While many reasons can be cited as to why the Dreamcast ultimately failed to save the company, with most of them being pretty overt, the competition from the PS2, the fans they lost due to the add-ons, and Sonic's waning popularity, there's also many behind-the-scenes reasons that helped as well. 3DFX in the mid to late 90s was gaining traction for their chipsets, which powered awesome arcade hits like San Francisco Rush, Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey, and of course, Mace: The Dark Age.
The Executioner versus Mordo's Call.
Thus, the company went public, and when that happened, they let slip that they were providing chips for Sega's next machine, which wasn't even announced yet, prompting Sega to go... The Japanese office were furious with this leak and thus severed their contract with the chipmaker due to this injustice, despite the 3DFX architecture being the technically superior design. 3DFX, for their part, sued Sega for this breach of contract, and they eventually settled out of court. It's not publicly known how much Sega had to pay due to all this, but things are obviously getting rough for the Dreamcast, and the fucking thing wasn't even fully designed yet. Obviously, due to all these legal oopsies, Sega of Japan went with the Hitachi architecture in lieu of the more powerful 3DFX version. With the specs locked, Sega started courting various publishers to start making games for the Cast of Dreams, but things unfortunately went sideways with one of their longtime partners. Say what you want about EA nowadays, believe me I do, but in the 90s they were well respected and supported the hell out of Sega's past consoles. However, Electronic Arts were also fans of 3DFX and had even invested in the company, so when they saw the Dreamcast specs, they were skeptical and ultimately passed on supporting the machine. According to EA exec Bing Gordon, if Sega had picked the direct competitor to 3DFX at the time, it would have been fine, but they picked someone we had never even heard of. It was somebody's friend of somebody's friend at a Japanese country club. It was a head scratcher, like, what are they doing? That was mostly it. Because of this now missing chunk in their gaming portfolio, sports titles were a must, Sega had to spend their own money to establish the 2K Sports brand, and while this was certainly costly, the rise of a competitive alternative to EA is seen as a milestone within the gaming industry. While it, would have been easier for EA to have simply supported the system from the get-go, the long-standing effects of this decision are monumental. The rest of the Dreamcast core design and features were a classic example of ticking all the boxes. 4 controller ports to combat the N64, higher capacity discs to rival the PlayStation, internet connectivity, a cable at the bottom of the controller for some reason, and of course the crown jewel, the VMU. Also, whereas Sega's last few machines were lagging behind in the power department, the Dreamcast shined here in pretty much all regards, but the problem here was the timing. The console was designed to beat the PlayStation and the N64, and wasn't exactly concerned with the future, which always seemed to be a problem at Sega. It landed in the US, Sega's
for a new Donkey Kong Country title. We just had the re-release of Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Switch, and that had the 3DS port as well. And Donkey Kong is now integrated into the Nintendo theme parks in Universal Studios. So I feel like now is the time to to launch another Donkey Kong title. We've been waiting for a long time with bated breath since the freaking Wii U for another Donkey Kong Country.
Right.
We had a port. Funky Kong waiting for a long time. Mode does not make a new Donkey Kong Country title. So we need something new.
Yeah, we really do. It's been too long. Miguel Olivia asked, what are your thoughts on the AI upscale on the Switch 2? Thanks so much for the super chat, Miguel.
Thank you.
Biggest market on $99.99. Remember that? Yeah, well, all Sega fans remember that and make sure to bring it up every single September. All of Sega's hard work and money spending did result in one of the best launch lineups up until that point, and some would say of all time. Soul Calibur, Hydro Thunder, NFL 2K, Power Stone, House of the Dead 2, and yes, Sonic Adventure, the console's big marquee title. Even Sony was nervous enough about the launch that they purposely positioned the US version of Final Fantasy VIII to come out that exact same day. People were excited, and the sales at first were very brisk, with Sega touting it as the best console launch of all time. In terms of profit, over $130 million were made in the launch week alone. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, Sega had a habit of launching and selling things at a loss.
That's no good.
So it won't surprise some to know that Sega had spent far more than that launch week of profit just bringing the Dreamcast to market. They needed to sell even more games, and to sell them very quickly to start recouping costs. And within just a few short months, the Dreamcast's front-loaded library gave way to more and more arcade ports, which around this time were becoming less attractive to gamers. You can't build a varied library when a massive chunk of your titles were built around quick, quarter-munching experiences. You also need longer, more nuanced products as well. There were a few big gets and exclusives though, like Resident Evil CV, Quake 3, and Skies of Arcadia, but as good as those were, it just wasn't enough. Very, very quickly, Sega could see that the console was already flagging due to the low attach rate. Many people bought Sonic, but not much else. While the lack of variety in the library was a problem, there was also the fact that many people were simply waiting for the mighty PlayStation 2 to arrive, something Sega hadn't really planned on. To hopefully fix all this, they decided they needed something new, something immersive, a killer app that would turn heads and make people go, "Oh right, the Dreamcast!" That game was Yu Suzuki's Shenmue. Suzuki is often seen as Sega's Miyamoto, creating so many classic franchises for the company, it just boggles the mind. Virtua Fighter is obviously one of the most prolific, and speaking of which, that's what Shenmue began as, Virtua Fighter RPG for the Saturn, before it was moved to the Dreamcast and greatly expanded upon, and conversely was greatly splurged upon. Sega invested $50 million, and some have estimated far more, to produce Shenmue for the Dreamcast, the most expensive game of its day, and it really was the first of its kind, an example of what video games could be. A massive, sprawling, cinematic open-world game where the player could do pretty much anything they wanted, well, within certain restrictions, of course.
Years ago, I was Chinese.
Is that so?
Many aspects of modern video gaming owe a lot to the innovations and freedom Shenmue pioneered. But the last thing Sega should have been doing right then was spending more money they barely had. Despite it selling well when it hit stores in early November of 2000, Shenmue didn't really improve Dreamcast sales, nor did it increase the console's attach rate, and certainly didn't stop the record-setting launch of the PS2, which occurred only a few weeks before. The thunderous hype of Sony's console sequel, its graphical edge over the Dreamcast, and the support of publishers like Square and Electronic Arts is certainly viewed as the death nail in the death coffin of the Death Cast. What also didn't help was the Japanese economy, having plunged into recession in 2000, which forced Sega to really look at themselves and make some hard decisions. Now, something I did not know before researching for this video is that this was, for a little while, going to be the very real end of Sega, like in totality. On January 31st, 2001, Sega announced they were ceasing production of their current console, and a simultaneous roar of disapproval and regret from Sega kids was heard from the stratosphere. Along with this announcement, Sega also outlined their plans to focus on software, and that you'd see their games release on other machines within the next year. But things could have gone very differently because, unbeknownst to many, Sega was almost bankrupt.
What? No money?
The only reason the company still exists today is because of the generosity of just one man. The company that owned a majority stake in Sega was CSK Holdings, and chairman Isao Okawa was the boss. People expected him to give the order for Sega to be shut down when the writing was clearly on the wall in 2000, but instead he loaned Sega $500 million of his own money to pay off their outstanding debts, and going above and beyond, he then waived that loan on his deathbed 2 years later. When he did pass away due to cancer, he gifted Sega back his own personal shares, totaling $695 million, which
Think of it as Main Street, a place where people congregate, creating constant commotion. What Martin and Mr. Miyamoto have shown so far is just the start of what's in store for Wii U owners. Let's take a look at more of what's on the way. Think of it as Main Street, a place where people congregate, creating constant commotion. Your own me is joined by others who play.
This year, Nintendo All Access will also provide you with exclusive content online, including key developer interviews, newly announced game trailers for the Wii U, and daily updates from the Nintendo booth on the E3 convention floor. It's as close as you can get without actually being here, with programs you won't see anywhere else.
Welcome to Nintendo Land. If almost all the classic Nintendo franchises came together in a virtual theme park, and if that theme park became a way to start demonstrating the gaming magic of the Wii U gamepad, well, that would be Nintendo Land. When the Wii first arrived, it took Wii Sports Tennis to explain the underlying appeal. When you played it, for the first time, you got it. For Wii U, Nintendo Land does the same thing. Play it, and you begin to understand. With it, the integrated second screen takes on fuller meaning. And the person who understands this better than anyone is the driving force behind 3 important Nintendo properties: Animal Crossing, Wii Sports, and Wii Sports Resort. And he's also the Wii U software producer, Mr. Katsuya Eguchi. So please welcome him.
You will try it on the show floor to see how it has progressed. Well, there were 3 objectives that I set before starting the construction of Nintendo Land. The first was to create unprecedented new
Oh, countdown, countdown. Game already?
Let's go!
Hello everyone, I'm Koichi Kawamoto, and I'll be one of your guides for today's Nintendo Direct. I'm the producer for Nintendo Switch 2.
I'm Takuhiro Dota, the director for Nintendo Switch 2.
And I'm Tetsuya Sasaki, the hardware design lead for Nintendo Switch 2.
What you just saw was Mario Kart World, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Now, what do you think this brand new Mario Kart game will be like?
A brand new entry in the Mario Kart series is launching exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Welcome to this vast world. Kart races are held throughout various regions that span the globe. Depending on the time of day and weather conditions, the atmosphere will change. And in this Mario Kart game, you can go off the racetrack and drive virtually everywhere in this world. In the Classic Grand Prix, race through 4 courses in a bid for first place. But don't sleep at the wheel. You'll also drive to the next course as part of the competition. With 24 drivers in each race, the most in series history, the competition is gearing up. Introducing Knockout Tour. Race non-stop from one corner of the world to another. There are multiple checkpoints along the way. If you're below the placement shown when you hit a checkpoint, you'll be eliminated. Can you make it all the way to the finish line? You can also freely drive around this vast world in free roam. By going off-road, you can explore new areas and routes. So drive wherever your heart takes you. You can also go for scenic drives with friends, and even take photos together at different locations. A brand new race across the entire world starts here. Mario Kart World! The game launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2. More details about this title will be shared in an upcoming Mario Kart World Direct, so be on the lookout for more information in the future.
Mario Kart World launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2. We'll share more details in the future, so we hope you're looking forward to it.
Next, we'd like to introduce some of the new features of Nintendo Switch 2. These are the Joy-Con 2 controllers for Switch 2. And on the right Joy-Con 2, we've added a new C button. Let's take a look at some new experiences it offers.
I'm still ahead of all of you guys. Woo!
Chat.
That was me. That was you? I think. So quick. Oh, no! Wait, no.
Nix, I'm coming for you.
No, I'm about to get
Come on, no.
Oh.
Introducing Game Chat, a new feature for Nintendo Switch 2.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, missed you.
With this feature, you'll be able to communicate with friends and family while playing a game.
Should we follow you? Yeah?
Yeah, follow me.
Okay.
Off for an adventure.
While using the Game Chat feature, your voice is recognized by a microphone built into the system.
Oh, okay. But you're still behind me, right? All right, let's keep going. Okay.
It can pick up your speaking voice clearly, even from a distance.
Look at this. Jump on here. All right, let's keep going. It's coming. Let's make a left right here. Let's make a...
When it's noisy around you, your voice will still come through clearly, letting you chat with ease.
How did you get hit by a boat? Okay, nice.
It does look beautiful. It's all pink.
And you can use this feature in handheld mode too, letting you easily chat with friends and family. If you open the chat menu and turn on game screen sharing,
Good job. There we go.
you can also share your game screen.
Did you see someone just like go on top of that dinosaur?
Really? They can do that?
I can do it. You guys, I just did it. Oh, I want to do it too.
Oh, shoot. Oh.
Oh, he's trying to eat me. He's trying to eat me.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
Oh, no.
Yay.
Okay. You can chat to your heart's content, even while playing different games.
Yeah, I know that one. It's so hard, right? It's tough.
Oh, wow. I'm like in the sky right here. I'm like, I fell. I'm falling. Okay, we got it. We're safe.
Kirby, look, you're on a star. That's so cute. So cute.
You can adjust the size of your game screen.
Guys, I'm lost. Like,
where'd you go?
Or expand another friend's game screen.
You gotta get above that wall that's to your left.
You're almost there, though.
It's just like the wall. Like if she gets past the wall.
This is where I have to do a little wall ride.
Okay.
Wow.
So everyone can watch them play.
Oh, I think I know where you are. Wait.
Okay, guys,
I think we have to try.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Let's take a picture here.
Okay, are you ready?
Smile.
Yay!
Oh, yo, that's sick.
I like your pose, Meeks.
On the right Joy-Con 2 controller, there's an additional button. With the C button, you can pull up a chat menu.
Oh, dang.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Wait, actually, guys, I got a call coming right now, so I'll be right back, yeah?
Okay. Sure.
Here, you can quickly and easily mute yourself and more. And there's this. By connecting this camera to the system.
Hey!
Hey, what's up? Hello. Yo. Nick.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Good?
Wow.
You can appear on screen and video chat while playing a game.
Your face is on here.
Wait, Nick, how was your test yesterday?
It was good.
No.
Here's how it looks with just the camera feed.
I'm way behind, guys.
There you go. I bet you like that.
Can you wait for me?
Please look forward to games which use your camera feed like this.
Oh, wow.
That was good.
Okay.
No, wait.
Good.
Go
That
left,
looks
go
good.
left. Left.
Let's
Okay.
go a little more this way.
Using Game Chat. Even when you're apart, you can play games and hang out as if you were together in the same room. Play together or compete in online multiplayer games. Chat while playing your personal favorites. Decide your own rules for a retro game competition. Or hold a sports competition between families. All together, anytime, anywhere. Game Chat.
What did you think? In developing Game Chat, our goal was for you to enjoy playing online with others more closely, including family and friends, almost as if you're all playing together in the same place. The camera you saw in the trailer is the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, which will be available on the same day as Switch 2. A Nintendo Switch Online membership will be required to use Game Chat. However, since we'd like as many people as possible to experience Game Chat, it will be available without a membership for a limited time. We hope you'll try it out. Additionally, Game Chat supports the Nintendo Switch Parental Controls app, and different settings can be adjusted. For example, whether parental permission is always required when a child wants to use Game Chat to play with their friends.
We'd like to introduce another new experience you can share with family and friends. On Nintendo Switch, even if you just have one game, you can pass a Joy-Con controller to a friend and play together. But on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play together locally on multiple systems using just one game, with Game Share. As shown here, even games that require multiple screens can be played if one person owns a compatible game. With Game Share, you can temporarily share compatible games with others who also have Nintendo Switch 2 or a Nintendo Switch system. You can share a game with up to 3 other systems at a time. Game Share also supports online play with other Switch 2 systems, and you can use it with friends via Game Chat, which we showed earlier. GameShare can only be used with compatible games. This feature is planned for several titles, starting with a free update for Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Nintendo Switch. GameShare support is also planned for select games exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, so we hope you'll look forward to it.
Up next, we'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself. Please take a look.
At 7.9 inches, Switch 2 has a bigger built-in screen. Here's how that compares to Nintendo Switch. The system's thickness remains the same. With approximately double the pixels compared to Switch, you can enjoy games in greater detail on the 1080p screen. The screen supports up to 120 frames per second, allowing for smoother gameplay in supported titles. The LCD screen is more vivid and supports HDR, providing more contrast between light and dark areas of the images. The all-new Joy-Con 2 controllers connect magnetically. Strong magnets keep the controllers firmly attached to the system. Detach your controller easily by pressing the release button on the back. The SL and SR buttons are bigger for greater comfort and control when playing with a Joy-Con 2 held horizontally. The left and right sticks are now larger. Each Joy-Con 2 controller can be used as a mouse to play with compatible games. Both the left and right Joy-Con 2 support mouse controls. By adjusting the audio balance between the ranges, sounds from the built-in speakers are clearer and more natural in handheld and tabletop modes. It has a built-in microphone, so you can voice chat with friends anytime via Game Chat. It also uses noise-canceling technology to filter sounds, so your voice will come through clearly. Even if you don't have a surround sound system, games can be enjoyed with more immersive, three-dimensional sound, as if it were coming from all around you. Place your Nintendo Switch 2 however you like with a large, sturdy stand. You can move it freely, like this. In addition to the USB-C port found on the bottom of the system, there's one on top as well. It's handy for connecting a USB-C camera or charging in tabletop mode. Nintendo Switch 2 comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage, 8 times that of Nintendo Switch, for storing your game downloads, save data, and more. Reading and writing data is also faster.
Oh, wow,
Use the Nintendo Switch 2 dock to connect to your TV and enable up to 4K resolution for compatible games. HDR is also supported in TV mode. The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a built-in fan that keeps your system cool. This helps keep performance stable. On Nintendo Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games. Physical and digital games are supported.
As you just saw, Nintendo Switch 2 isn't simply an improved Nintendo Switch. We redesigned the system from the ground up and packed in lots of new gameplay features. And to help players better understand the Switch 2 hardware, we're currently developing this game. Mr. Kawamoto!
Hello. My current location is actually inside the game itself. This is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. I'm standing over here. Okay, everyone, join me inside the game. There are a lot of question mark icons here. Let's examine them. This sign reads, "Where are the magnets?" The Joy-Con 2 controllers attach to the system with magnets. And those magnets are inside the system. The SL and SR buttons on the Joy-Con 2 are made of metal, so that's how they attach to the system. A magnetic circuit is formed between them so they won't easily detach. Through examining signs like these, you can discover all sorts of secrets about Nintendo Switch 2. Another example, the Joy-Con 2 controllers have mouse controls. And when combined with the gyroscopes, you can even do something like this. You can adjust the position of the golf club and aim for the cup by rotating the Joy-Con 2. By combining the mouse controls and gyroscopes, things like this are possible. There are secrets to discover even as you're playing minigames and tech demos. Some of the secrets range from the unique features of the system to tiny details you might not notice until they're pointed out. There are plenty. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour will launch as a paid digital game on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2. So please check it out if you're interested.
Now, I'd like to share some more information regarding Nintendo Switch 2. This is the game card for Nintendo Switch 2 titles. It's the same shape as Nintendo Switch game cards, but it's now red and it has much faster data reading speeds. Next up is additional storage. Switch 2 will only work with micro SD express cards. They're a different type of SD card and will make high-speed data transfers possible. Please note that regular micro SD cards used for Nintendo Switch will not be compatible. Additionally, to transfer data from Switch to Switch 2, you can log into your Nintendo account to use the System Transfer feature. With this feature, you can transfer save data, digital games, and more. We're also releasing a new Pro Controller. It has a C button, which launches Game Chat, and on the back, there are new GL and GR buttons, which you can use to assign existing button controls. In addition, an audio jack has been added. We've introduced a few new features, and after today's presentation, the official Nintendo Switch 2 website will go live. There will also be an Ask the Developer article on the website, where the three of us will talk about the development of Nintendo Switch 2. We hope you'll check that out as well.
And now, the Nintendo Switch 2 launch date. Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th. We're very much looking forward to the day when you all get to experience it, so please wait just a bit longer.
Now, broadly speaking, on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play 3 types of games. The first type is Nintendo Switch 2 games. These games take advantage of the performance and features of Switch 2. The second type is compatible games that were released on Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games are the third type. Some games that were released on Switch will receive upgraded versions that offer things like improved visuals, unique ways to play on Switch 2, and more. Now, I'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Party Jamboree. Please take a look.
Super Mario Party Jamboree is getting an upgrade on Nintendo Switch 2. The upgrade expands on the base game and adds new features, including mouse controls, audio recognition, more expressive rumble, and gameplay that uses a camera accessory, all of which can be accessed on Switch 2. Let's check out 3 new and updated modes. First up is Mario Party mode. With a single camera, up to 4 players can join the festivities. You'll be able to see each other's faces as you play, so you can experience all the reactions and emotions in real time. Or 4 friends can take the party online. Up next, it's Bowser Live, a mode where the livelier team wins. Bowser will bring you on stage to hit blocks to collect the most coins, guide an RC car with your voice, go, and compete in other mini-games using full body movement and sound. Finally, take a ride on the mouse-controlled Carnival Coaster. With the safety bar lowered and secured, you're off. Go! Use mouse controls to shoot down enemies while you feel the bumps and rumbles of the coaster. When you enter a pipe, a mini-game will begin. There's a bouldering game where 2 players each control an arm, and one where you shake a can of spray paint and quickly tag objects. Enjoy the thrill of these intuitive mini-games. How quickly can you reach the station? From mini-games that use a camera, the built-in microphone, mouse controls, and rumble, the biggest party yet is getting even bigger. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Jamboree TV, launches on Nintendo Switch 2, July 24th. Nintendo Switch 2 players who already own Super Mario Party Jamboree can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV by purchasing an upgrade pack.
Please look forward to a new Mario Party experience, where you can see each other's reactions while playing. Let's continue presenting some more Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games.
Oh.
Nintendo Switch 2 editions of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom feature enhanced resolution and frame rates, and also support HDR, which makes the image more vibrant, so you can play with smoother, higher definition graphics. Plus, you can get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule using Zelda Notes. This new feature can be accessed via the Nintendo Switch app on smart devices. It's a game-specific service that's exclusive to the Switch 2 editions of these titles. For example, it can help guide you to various locations, like shrines and Koroks you haven't found yet.
Guidance activating. Proceed north.
Or you can share your creations using QR codes and send them to another player to create in their game. We hope these features will make your adventures even more enjoyable. In Kirby and the Forgotten Land, you'll be able to enjoy an additional story exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, along with improved graphics and frame rates. This story takes place in the Forgotten Land after being struck by a powerful meteor that's causing some mysterious changes. We hope you're looking forward to Kirby's new adventure. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will have both a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. In addition to standard controls, you can use mouse controls for intuitive gameplay on Switch 2. Plus, you can explore the immersive world in 4K at 60 frames per second, or enjoy smoother action in Full HD at 120 frames per second. Choose from these two modes, both of which support HDR, based on your preference and playstyle. Plus, Pokémon Legends ZA, which is scheduled to launch later this year, will not only receive a Nintendo Switch version, but a Nintendo Switch 2 edition as well. By taking advantage of the power of Switch 2, you can enjoy your adventure in Lumio City with enhanced resolution and frame rates. The Nintendo Switch 2 edition games you just saw will be available as both physical and digital versions. And if you already own the Nintendo Switch version of a game, you can play the Nintendo Switch 2 edition by purchasing an upgrade pack. We hope you're looking forward to these Nintendo Switch 2 edition games.
Next, I'd like to introduce a brand new game featuring mouse controls with the Joy-Con 2 controllers. Please take a look.
Basketball.
In Drag and Drive, you'll use both Joy-Con 2 controllers as mice to intuitively pull off various moves. We hope you're looking forward to a new twist on 3-on-3 matches using dual mouse controls. Next, here are some games from our publishing and development partners coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
I have long observed the lands between. This world is in dire need of repair. You can see them, can't you? The rays of grace that guide you through your burden. I have no doubt you will become Elden Lord. May you take the throne.
Hey, I'm Greg Kasavin from Supergiant Games, here to say that Hades 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Our first ever sequel introduces the Princess of the Dead, an immortal witch out to vanquish the sinister Titan of Time. You'll battle beyond the underworld to the ends of the earth, getting to know dozens of characters from Greek myth in a story that reacts to your every setback and victory. It's the kind of game you can quickly pick up and play whether you're experienced with the original or not. Look for more about Hades 2 later this year.
皆さんこんにちは、カプコンの中山です。我々がお届けするタイトルはストリートファイター6です。本体を持ち寄っての対戦はもちろん、任天堂スイッチ2だけの新モードもあります。 ソフトは通常版の他に総勢26キャラクターを収録した Years 1-2 Fighters Edition の2バージョンを、さらにゲームと連動するアミーボとアミーボカードも一緒にスイッチ2の発売日にお届けします。お楽しみに。
Initiating Arsenal boot sequence. Weapon safety mechanism confirmed. All operating at normal levels. Testing data link with spine. Normal. Commencing launch.
After 2 long wars where our freedom was restricted, we will finally be liberated from humans.
I'm in need of a new arsenal, new equipment, and money. I'm for sale, and you're buying.
Rebels! Thanks for the warm welcome!
This planet will be ours.
The Sovereign Axiom, the Trinitas, has almost completed a weapon that was created to destroy all humanity.
No! Because we're in the middle of a war. Don't you get it?
I won't just stop you. I'll tear you apart!
All children bring hope to our lives, don't they?
Hey, this is Joseph Forrest from Hazelight. I'm super excited for Split Fiction to come to Nintendo Switch 2. The game is a story about friendship. You play as Mio, who writes sci-fi, and Zoe, who writes fantasy. Together, they get trapped in their own stories, and it's up to you and a friend to help them break free. Now, let me tell you this, if you like It Takes Two, you're gonna love this one, trust me. And of course, you'll be able to play Split Fiction on the day Switch 2 launches.
At EA Sports, we're bringing fans together across the world, both on the pitch and on the gridiron. We're excited to announce that EA Sports FC will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Madden NFL will also be arriving on the Nintendo platform. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Hi, I'm Alan Tu from Avalanche Software. We are bringing Hogwarts Legacy to Nintendo Switch 2. With enhanced graphics and seamless world transitions, you'll be immersed in the Wizarding world like never before. And the new mouse controls on Switch 2 give you even more ways to experience the adventure. Discover the enhanced magic when Hogwarts Legacy launches on the same day as Switch 2.
Captain, is that mic supposed to be on? Son of a...
Hello, this is Christian Elverdam from IO Interactive. We are bringing our flagship title, Hitman World of Assassination, to Nintendo Switch 2. As the best assassin in the trade, Agent 47 does everything he can to accomplish his mission. And how each mission progresses will vary depending on the player's imagination. Our ever-expanding game will release on the same day as Switch 2. Plus, we are excited to bring another familiar agent to the platform. James Bond. The world's favorite spy is coming to Nintendo Switch 2, so stay tuned.
Oh, Bravely Default.
The story of light and shadow that never fades is reborn. Bravely Default returns, remastered in high definition. Featuring the Brave and Default commands that help you control the flow of turn-based battles. Change and customize jobs to build out your very own party. Enjoy your adventure with upgraded features and enhancements.
and all new minigames with unique ways to play. Square Enix presents the classic fantasy RPG, Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. Set foot in Luxembourg as a warrior of light once more.
セガ龍が如くスタジオ代表の横山です。我々がお送りするタイトルは龍が如くゼロ誓いの場所ディレクターズカットです。1988年東京と大阪2つの歓楽街を舞台に土地を巡る争奪戦が勃発。伝説の始まりを追加シーンとともにお楽しみください。発売日は Nintendo Switch 2の発売と同じ日です。今後のシリーズ展開にもぜひご期待ください。
We'll have more games to show from our publishing and development partners, but for now, we'd like to show a game being developed in collaboration with Nintendo. Please take a look.
When the Zonai, who descended from the heavens, joined hands with the Hylians, who dwelled on the surface, their union led to a great and prosperous kingdom. But in time, a terrible evil arose. A war was fought to vanquish this evil, one which future generations would call the Imprisoning War.
Perhaps you truly have traveled back in time.
So that's Hyrule Castle? Then that must mean this really is the past.
That was Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. It's being developed by Koei Tecmo Games with support from Nintendo. We hope you're looking forward to the untold story of the Imprisoning War, which took place in Hyrule long ago.
And now, some news about Nintendo Switch Online. You can continue to enjoy Nintendo Switch Online on Switch 2. And with Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack, you can enjoy a new membership benefit exclusively on Switch 2. Please take a look at this.
Oh, yes.
Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack will be getting a new classic game library exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo GameCube, originally released in 2001. Here are the titles that will be available at launch. A Legend of Zelda game that looks like a cartoon come to life through cel shading. Controlling the wind using a mysterious baton, Link sets sail on an adventure across the Great Sea. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords eternally retold. In this 3D, weapons-based fighting game, each fighter comes equipped with a different weapon, and Link from the Legend of Zelda series enters the fray. Soul Calibur 2. Experience a world of white-knuckle racing at speeds over 2,000 kilometers per hour. 30 machines will put it all on the line in death-defying races. Featuring the series' first machine customization and story mode, get ready to experience F-Zero GX. In games that support multiplayer, up to 4 can play together locally or online. Enjoy these classic games with clearer image quality and higher resolution than the original releases. You can also check the controls for each title and customize them to your liking. More titles will be added in the future. Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics, the Switch 2 exclusive game library coming to Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack launches the same day as the hardware's release. And a dedicated controller designed after the original GameCube controller will also be released. It can connect wirelessly and also has a C button to quickly access Game Chat. The Nintendo GameCube controller, exclusively available for Nintendo Switch Online members, will also be available the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
Whether you're familiar with the games or haven't played them before, we hope you're looking forward to Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics. Of course, you can continue to play select games from the systems shown here on Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, let's see some more games from our publishing and development partners.
Hi, I'm Randy from Gearbox. Borderlands 4, our upcoming flagship Borderlands game, will launch on Nintendo Switch 2. Borderlands is back. Loot and shoot your way through a world filled with wild enemies and outrageous weapons. We're still in development, and it's already the most ambitious Borderlands game we've ever made. Borderlands 4 will launch in 2025. We'll be sharing a lot of the game in the months ahead, and there's more from 2K on the way.
Hi, I'm Dennis Shirk from Firaxis Games. We're releasing a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Sid Meier's Civilization 7. In Civ 7, you'll establish an empire and guide your people throughout the ages of history. With the new mouse controls, players can enjoy a more intuitive gameplay experience. Civ 7 launches on the same day as Switch 2. And if you already own the Nintendo Switch version, you can experience mouse controls on Switch 2 by purchasing the upgrade. And we have even more news from 2K.
Hi, I'm Lionel Jinks.
And I'm Ben Bishop.
Our final announcement for today is that WWE 2K is coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Plus NBA 2K as well.
We can't wait to see you in the ring.
And on the court.
4 kids find this old tattered man. Off they went, armed with nothing but youthful enthusiasm and a profound lack of preparation. Boom! Terrible at steering a raft. Let's slay some trees. Awesome! You nailed it! Hook, line, and sinker. Tastes amazing, doesn't it? Ha! Nicely done. Well, I think that's everything. Let's set sail. This time, for home.
Hi, I'm Dave Crooks from Dodge Roll. Here's the first look at Enter the Gungeon 2. Dodge countless bullets and aim for the Gungeon's depths in our roguelike shooter sequel. Now reloaded in a new 3D art style. You can expect some fan-favorite elements to return. We're still working on the game, and we're excited to share more with you in the future.
Hello, my name is Adam Badowski from CD Projekt Red. We are delighted to bring the immersive world of the dark future to Nintendo players for the first time. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open-world action-adventure RPG set in Night City. Thanks to Nintendo Switch 2, you can transport yourself to the city of dreams at home or on the go. Get ready to meet unforgettable characters and discover engaging stories when Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition comes to Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day.
こんにちは、スクエアエニックスの浜口です。任天堂スイッチ2でファイナルファンタジー7リメイクインターグレードを発売いたします。本作はミッドガル脱出までを描いた3部作シリーズの1作目となり、20年以上の時を経て再創作された新しい
We've shown a lot of games so far. The next game will be the last from our publishing and development partners. Please take a look.
I give you my blood. I give you my life. Turn, O wheel, and transport him to a night of moonlight, to humanity's very dusk.
Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon-to-depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
Tears will flow for one, and one alone.
What you just saw was a brand new game by From Software. We'll be publishing a creator's voice article where the game's director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, will share more details about the game, so please check it out when it's available. That's all from our publishing and development partners. We'd like to thank the developers who appeared today, as well as our publishing and development partners who prepared footage for this presentation. In addition to what you saw today, our partners are working on many games coming to Nintendo Switch 2. We'll showcase more games in the future, so we hope you're looking forward to it. Next, please take a look at this. Kirby Air Ride, which originally released on the Nintendo GameCube system over 20 years ago, is getting a brand new game. We hope you're looking forward to Kirby Air Riders, directed by Masahiro Sakurai. Next is our last trailer for today. Please take a look. that was a brand new 3D platforming action game starring Donkey Kong, called Donkey Kong Bonanza. With incredible strength, smash through enemies, walls, the ground, and just about everything as you demolish your way through a massive underground world. More details will be shared in the future. We hope you're looking forward to it.
Thank you for watching so far.
To recap, Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th. Finally, here are the hardware options that will be available at launch. We'll release Nintendo Switch 2, as well as a bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World. For more details, please check the official Nintendo Switch 2 website, which goes live later today.
We've covered a lot of information, but that's all we have to share for today.
You'll have to wait just a bit longer for launch. We are very much looking forward to everyone being able to experience Nintendo Switch 2.
We appreciate you joining us today. Thank you very much.